All right, so welcome to episode one of Sudden Change Pod. Me and Jay was just talking about it. It feels very weird to be starting from scratch. Beans here. We got JA. I don't even want to assume everybody knows who we are or why we're. Well, let's start with the podcast is going to be similar to Legal No Name podcast. Some of y'all might remember that. Some of you might not. We're going to talk a lot about fantasy football in season, out of season. It's going to be everything football. So it's going to be a little different, but mostly the same. So for those, since most of this is going to be fantasy football, I think the best way to get to know us would kind of be to give the people pretty much our we were in the same league together before. So talk to them about your previous league's resume as a way for them to know why they should trust us fantasy wise. Because a lot of people talk fantasy, anybody can get a
Yeah,
platform, but I feel like the two of us, we kind of know what we do. So what was your resume in the previous league we were in, which was a tough league?
uh, definitely. Tough league, top to bottom, year out, year in and year out. I won a championship year four, I want to say it. I think season four was my championship. It seems like a while ago, actually. Won a champ. Starting off first year, top seed. First year, lost in the playoffs. Lost in the chip, actually. I think it was to Case Chiefs. Lost to Chiefs. Everyone knows that year, the Astros year, where I started Geno Smith when he was with the Jets, off a bet with Moose, one of the league commissioners from the last league. That karma came back to bite me. Lost to Chiefs year one. I had a pretty good record. I was always in the middle of the pack where it was getting a bye or a playoff positioning. Never had pizza, so I could always hang my hat on that.
Yeah.
Got a championship year four. I went to three championships. Lost year one. I beat Stowe for a championship, and I lost to Randy and for a championship. About 2 years after that when he won. So definitely tough league, but I think I held my own in that league. One of the I would say I was one of the best in that league as far as drafted and just being in the vicinity of a championship year in year out. So I hang
Yeah.
my hat on that.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I always said you were top two, maybe one. That was always up for debate.
If you count
You and
pizzas,
Casey, and eventually we'll have Casey on. I mean, we don't really need to talk about it, but I think as time goes on and we develop this league more, he'll probably still remain towards the top. You'll still remain at the top, so it'll still be that level of competition. My resume was not quite as good, but I feel like I was still in the upper echelon of the league. Had the one ship, two first place finishes, 4 out of 7 years was in playoffs. I know that might not sound great, but with how tough the league was, I think that's respectable. So yeah, I think we know what we're talking about to a certain extent. We're not going to get up here and just talk nonsense. So we alluded to the fact that we're in the league before. We also had a podcast before. Now we're starting a new league. We're starting a new podcast. And I guess the question is, people are going to ask. People have asked, why starting everything new? What's the reason? Like why this
uh,
switch?
why? First off, just hats off to that league. It was a great 7 year run, top to bottom, where we've seen. Honestly, that league put us at a point where we could do this now because we saw how we started and then we saw how
Yeah.
we just leveled off. But that league, I mean, from competition to, antics to everything, it just gives you a vision of like how you want to do things and where you want to see things. And I think the question we're gonna get is like why or what happened. Well, everybody's gonna have their opinion, but in my opinion, I just feel like things just grew apart. Like you want to do one thing one way, I want to see it a different way.
Yeah.
Or others want to do something a different way. And when you have two people on this side, three people here, and then a couple people not answering, well, you get a disconnect. So, I just eliminated myself from it. Like, you know what? If we're not gonna be on the same page, there's no hard feelings. Like, you tip your cap. Like, it was a good run. Thank you. But I'll take it from here. Like, I didn't play fantasy this year. I didn't play
At
fantasy
all?
at all this year. At all.
Really?
I
Wow.
literally I was like, I coached, I talked to people. I was two people that's in the league I play softball with.
Yeah,
John and Mark. And Los was on that team, and I used to talk to them every week. Like, we have a league, and they was always ones to say, I'm down. Like, if you do something, I'm down. So that kind of gave me the boost to just like, I'll take the year off just to see from a rules aspect because we always had issues with rules.
yeah.
Um, just spicing things up. Like what's going to
Yeah,
get the attention of everyone in the league. I think we've done that with just a few things that we've just changed this going into this year. Um, and just still competing, but also keeping that level of all right, we're not texting the same chat every day. It's not the same thing year in year out. That's boring. Like you know what I mean? Like we're getting to an age now. It's like I don't want to talk to y'all all day every day. We're doing the same thing. Like if we're going to talk and do this, like let's do it. Like you know what I mean?
yeah,
Like we've mentioned too many things that we've seen online of our league can be that. Like now we just got to do it. And I feel like with this, like we have an opportunity to take advantage of our mindset and what we've been thinking for the whole year.
yeah. Definitely nothing but respect for that league, regardless of how things ended. Um, I think for me, it came down to I understand that when we started the league, a lot of the stuff that basically me and you started to come up with, whether it be the pod, whether it be just the rankings, whether it be all that stuff, like everybody didn't sign up for that. So when we started making these changes, everybody wasn't on board. So I completely understand. I can't fault them for not having the same vision that we had. So now we
Definitely.
are able to start fresh and we're able to put our minds together and the vision that we have, we can, move forward with that. So on that note, what are some of the changes or things that we're going to do differently from that league and from just leagues that we tend to see? Like what's going to make us stand out?
Honestly, I think us standing out is just the different in capacity of like, the personalities are always different, but now the rule changes how we are going to put emphasis on like defenses and now emphasis on just a flex being one flex hasn't having to be a rookie. Like I feel like that's going to make now drafting even a little different because at
Yeah,
some point you got to get a rookie and it just can't be any rookie like you're just throwing into a flex because
yeah,
as we've seen this year, the Tank Dells and the Sam Laportas, these dudes are making significant contributions to teams. And
yeah,
if you need to start a rookie week in and week out, like that's gonna put another, now do you leave a guy on the board because I'm gonna need a rookie at some point to start. So I think that plays a lot of things. And then also the kicks per distance. So I was talking to my sister about it. She's always one of my biggest supporters, and she was just like, yeah, "I
shout
love
out
that
Shan.
because
Yeah.
definitely, she's around for whatever." Like so, but she also enjoyed like, and it made me feel good because she enjoyed like, wow. So she was like, if you're playing Otis and you're down, 3.5 points, and you kick a 36-yard field goal, I'd be owed by a tenth of a point. Like
Yeah,
she was like, it keeps everything in the play now. Like even if you know what, my defense may not be getting a stop and I'm blowing a lead, but that third, like that 3 and out or that fourth down stop in the fourth quarter may
yeah,
propel you to a victory. So I just think, and I want to do it, not changes every year, but something different where it's like we're not going into the same year like I could plan for this because we did this last year. Nah, let's keep doing something different. Let's have the ball spinning so we don't know what may happen. Like, so I think that's going to be very key in this league though.
yeah. I think it's definitely going to affect the rookie piece. Is definitely going to affect the way we have to draft. Um, I'm trying to think of the 7 years I was in that league. I can't remember drafting a rookie.
It had to be a rookie where like they're saying maybe like he's gonna be that guy right now, but
Yeah,
even
definitely
then
not
you're
in the
not
top.
trusted it.
Yeah, not definitely not in the top 6 or 7 rounds ever. So it definitely
Yeah.
affects that, and I think it's going to make us um, a lot of matchups, like even the close ones. Once you get to the fourth and the situation plays out, it's over. But those three and outs, those fourth down stops, they're gonna keep you intrigued for the whole game, the whole matchup. So I think it definitely enhances the league.
I saw it
Um,
like this too. I saw it like this too. Like, all right, you may not like you just need the ball back. Like you can't get a stop. But that team is just trying to run the clock out, but not necessarily going for a first. Well, that's a 3 and out. Like you get a point,
true, technically,
you know what I
yeah,
mean? So and if you got the quarterback on the other side of it, like now you got a chance to go get you a score too. So or if you got the kicker on the other side, you got a chance to go for a game winning, 58-yard field goal. It ain't just stopping at, 50 to 59, which is 5 yards, five points. All right, 59 yarder, like a 60 yarder. Hey, that's
yeah.
like, so I think that definitely be intriguing going into this first year.
And you alluded to talking to some of the guys that are going to be in the new league. What was the thought process? Because you pretty much picked most of the people that are going to be in the league. I chipped in and gave some ideas, but what was the mindset about deciding who you wanted for this particular league? Because you brought some people over, and then we got some new people.
Yeah, I got hell for the transfer portal, but um, honestly, like just talking ball, knowing ball, like, and just people that was just committed. Like, I know they always gonna give Los hell for football, but like Los is one of the first ones who was like, yo, he'll be down with me. Like if we did something because he also wanted to see the expansion of, you know what, he always wanted to do this and do that. And I'm like, yo,
Right.
listen, if
Exactly.
we do it, like I'm down. Me and John, like we talk here and there through like, messaging or DMs, like he talk about his Bengals, like we just talk ball, like and you know what like people are insightful about football and just knowing the ins and outs of the game. Give shout out to Mark P. Like he knows his stuff. Like my boy Jordan, like I talk to him daily, so he knows it. Him being a Packers fan, so he's definitely biased. With, he's definitely biased with a lot, but like I can respect his mind because every Sunday we just breaking down plays or whatever we seen. Chance, he's actually a coach. Chance coaches at Harding and Bridgeport, and we actually
I think
had
I
a
did see
joint
that.
practice.
Yeah.
We had a joint practice this year. They were getting ready to play Casey, I believe. The same week we had a big game, and I chopped it up with him. And I'm like, yo, he's in leagues. He talks football. I'm like, why not Chance? Like, you know what I mean? Like, and I came with him. I was like, yo, listen, I've been, I'm seeking you out as being a part of our league. Like, I know you got leagues going on because he also does his own league as well.
Yeah, I was in
And
it
he was
one
like,
year, I think.
okay. And he was like, yo, I'm willing to jump a league and join. I'm like, it's just having like we're sitting at the draft table and nothing against those guys. Like the Randys, like they actually come to the table prepare for a draft. So it's nothing.
Yeah.
It's just like, how can I hold that, that pedigree up to I can't just throw anybody in the league. Like, let's get football players, guys who watch the game, like just, a good acumen for the game. Like, and he's a
Yeah.
guy that we talk ball at the at practice, like, just rebuilding teams and we've been through the same type of stuff in that, and playing coaching out in Bridgeport. So I came to him with the league. And I also got one spot left. Like it's
Yeah.
a couple guys that
Oh man.
like yeah, they try to make it drama. It's like yo, I'm just trying to have fun with it. Like it's been so much back and forth of like, what's this, what's that. I'm like yo, listen, I'm just trying to have fun with it. Like
Yeah.
at the same time, I want people that's going to take it serious. Like it's
Yeah.
just so I think with the rules in place, and now we're doing every week you get money to the highest scorer for the league. I think that's going to keep everyone on their p's and q's with the league. So I'm looking
Yeah.
forward to it, man.
Yeah, definitely. And just to touch on Los, I just gotta say I respect Los because when he came in the league, was it year
I think
three
it
or
was year
four?
three.
Like we butted heads a lot. We
Yeah, of course.
got into it like just me and him personally. Outside of the one other person who I always got into it with, it was
Yeah,
Los the most. But by the time year seven came and we were like the two of us were pretty much fed up, like he was one of the only people that really understood what we were trying to get across to everybody else. And I just gotta say, I respect him for the way that he stood up for the things that we were trying to get done in there, even when he was at odds with pretty much everybody else in the chat. So that level
definitely,
of maturity and growth, I just respect from Will. So I just had to say that.
definitely.
So let's talk about expectations real quick and then move on to other stuff. Let's say, I don't know, 5 years from now, what do we expect the league to look like, and what do we expect the podcast to look like? What are we trying to get out of it, like short term, long term?
Short term, man, is just trying to bring back the liveliness and the fun of it. Like I just
Yeah,
feel like what we like are thinking and things we want to accomplish with them. I think we like short term, like it's just bringing the juice back. Like even if you're not in our league, I want you to feel like you're a part of it. Like it's just, damn, like oh, I get to vote on what the last place punishment was, last place punishment was,
yeah,
or how do I feel about this trade, or how are they going into doing the draft order this year, or it's so many things that make it complex that I feel like it's ours for the taking. We just gotta just stay, just stay to it. Like just all right, like we put the mindset together of this is how we want to do it, then let's go do it. And it's not just one particular thing that we want to accomplish. It's just as a whole, like how can we bring the league with us as well as bringing the podcast back to, I feel like we had a formidable respectability. It may not have been the most people, but
for
like
sure.
when I went to a game that year and I met dudes from a podcast, like it was just like that type of networking. Or when we had the Super Bowl pool, like I feel like it's just a whole bunch of different things that we can do. And it starts with just, just them seeing the vision, like of how we want to do things. So I
Yeah.
think that would be very key.
Yeah, I definitely think consistency is key. When we started, we had I don't want to say a big buzz, but at least around here, and it continued to grow. I think the pandemic hit, we started having to do the Zoom, we got slowed down a bit. I wanted to say at the beginning, like, this is the only episode that I plan to be on Zoom. We just wanted to have this discussion about what the league is going to look like. But from here on out, we want to be in person. It's just a different atmosphere, it's a different vibe. So, and we definitely want to bring everybody along with us. We want people to be interested like they were early on when we were in person doing those podcast before. So yeah, participation from I don't want to say fans because that sounds like we're actually like bigger
Yeah,
than we are, but
the
from
viewers.
outside people,
Yeah,
yeah, we want that's important. So
I love
definitely,
it. Like when we have polls up, like yo, vote. Like if we got
yeah,
a Super Bowl pool, like we're looking for whatever. Like I'm not saying like even if we don't talk every day, if you don't know me personally, I don't care. Like I want the engagement with you because I want you to feel like you know what, maybe your idea might trigger something for us. It was like yo, maybe we could use that.
yeah,
You never know. Maybe we go to a 12-man league and we might have you as somebody, but like my sister's always wanted to just be like, oh, I like that, but like I don't know. I'm like, yo, do it on the page. Like it's okay. Like
yeah,
send it. When we used to do the pick 'em, like that was different. Like
yes,
it was always
definitely
it
got to
was
keep that.
something. Like so
Yeah,
I just feel like just having them involved, like because it's not just going to be us 10 that can carry it. Like we're going to need them too. So just making sure like they feel like all right, we're involved in this. So like let me get my input. Like did you respect the trade that O was trying to give to Jordan and something, even though they're Packer fans? Like you know what I mean?
yeah,
Like do you respect the trade? I'm always one for let's put up the trade. Let's see what people feel like. Let's put up the standings. Like let's
yeah,
get it. Let's make it seem like it's us out there actually playing. Like,
yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, he need a game to clinch first round bye. Like, let's give people, all right. You want to see standings? You want to see that? Like, let's give a visual of what we're actually doing inside.
yeah. And I want the people to know, like, sometimes you feel like I see this, I vote on a poll, like, and that's it. Y'all don't realize, like, at least how it was before, those polls, the rankings, the comments I make, they sparked a lot of conversation in the chat. We
Yo,
got into a lot of stuff because of those polls. So
Eagles, Eagles.
it's
You, if,
it definitely makes a difference whether y'all see it immediately or not, because we're not going to post everything that goes on in the chat because it got crazy sometimes. But it definitely made a difference. So I just want people to know that. Anything else you want to add as far as just what the, this new setup is going to be before we move on to some other football stuff?
honestly, just like you said, like long term. I've been digging and researching, and I see us like I told Casey the other day, like milestone for me, like 5-year milestone is us drafting at like a headquarters of an NFL facility, which they like allow and like they
I didn't know
actually
that.
like are yes, they actually like are pushing for you to come to their facilities and you know what, let's draft. So like I'll give it up. Last two I looked at was like the Eagles and the Panthers were doing something. But that temper after that drink throw, I don't know. But the Eagles offer like a private suite. You get a tour. You get they actually come with the draft board, the food as well. You get autographs, and honestly, you get the draft right literally in their facility. Like
That's
on
dope.
like we pay and everything is on them after that. Like we get there and everything is just Eagles got you. Like they're gonna show you the hospitality. So that's a goal of mine. Like I want us to be able to, you know what? Yo, we carpool. Let's bring your family if you need to. Like we got like we have it. Like they're
Yeah,
offering it. Like just bring your families. Like yo, we make a day or two trip, and then I just always keeping the spice going. Like I'm sometimes you may have to like, dumb it down and do certain things, but if we could keep moving forward and progressing, not doing the same thing often, I don't want to because I feel like now you know how guys get. So now when you get something to look forward to, you know how the Eagles get involved. So now it's like, all right, and then you see the creativity of everyone else too. So I know how low stinks when he wants to show off. Like I know how I know how a lot of these dudes get, and then that's your moment. Like I want you to
yeah,
be able to do that. So definitely, that's one of my milestones in year 5. Us getting to an NFL facility to draft.
yeah. I think that's a great goal. For me, like I tend to look at because I do a lot of behind the scenes stuff, just like analytically. I don't want to put a number on it, but I would love to have a certain number of followers by year 5, be reaching a certain amount of people, and just a page and the viewership to be at a certain level by those dates. And I got to think of, I don't want to say realistic because I want to like cap what we could do, but I definitely want to it to be way bigger than what we had last time. I would love
Yeah.
to see in the first year like 1,000 followers. I know it's not a huge number, but the last pod, I don't think we ever got over 400 in 7 years. So if we could get 1,000 followers in year one, I'd love to see that. Just little
And that comes
milestones
with
like
this
that.
the consistency too,
Yeah,
because like
for
we would
sure.
go like weeks without, you know, what I mean, we need to do a pod, like so just finding that time because I know busy schedules, but like if this is what we want to do, like I'm gonna have to find the time. And I told you, it's nothing. If we're off it, like we could just do something. Or I missed the confessionals. Like I feel like that was like a big part of
Bro,
what
that
could
was
have been.
yeah,
And then seeing people like how we name stuff, seeing them use it on TV, the Monday Night Miracle, like that was like, yo, if this is not a time for us to do something, I don't know when it is because like
yeah,
they're
yeah.
using our terminology. Nothing. We never heard Monday Night Miracle. We just called it a miracle because of what you did. Like
Yeah.
you escaping like a 2 point win, like it's
Yeah,
crazy. Like
that's we were using that since the beginning. I think year probably 4 or 5. That's when we first started hearing it nationally. Like we was doing
that's when
that.
everyone you could be down 50 and dudes be like, I got a chance because it's a
Yeah.
kicker in the defense. Like you're never out of it now. So
Yeah.
I think like just capitalizing on what we see and like just going with even if it's not a following, like we just gotta follow what we think is right and then just hope that it works out.
Yeah. I mean, overall, I'm excited. I think this has the
Definitely.
potential to be great. We just got to be consistent. And that's that. Can move on to some football stuff. We're not gonna get too deep because most of this episode was just about getting that information out. We could talk about Coach of the Year, MVP. But before we do that, I'm just gonna throw some names out. Since you've been able to just watch football purely this year and not be thinking about it from the fantasy aspect as much as everybody else, just throw some names out and just tell me like what comes to mind. We talked a
All
lot
right.
about Bijan before the season. What are your thoughts on his season? How they used them as a Falcons fan? Are you happy or are you unhappy with his season?
I'm middle of the bar. Like Bijan's an electric player. Have we used him right? Not at times. Have we succeeded because of him? At times. Bijan has a little fumble problem that has occurred.
Yeah,
But honestly, I just feel like we're just not spacing it right. Like we're just not getting our targets the ball enough. There's no reason why Bijan's not getting up to 20 touches a game. And that's on our the coaching staff part because he's electric. Like, you know what I mean? Like there's no reason why Bijan's not getting the goal line touches or whatever. But sometimes coaches get a little ahead of themselves, they get cute and you out cute yourself and now you're on the hot seat. So I would have he has to get like 52 yards, I think, to get over 1,000 rushing. From just from rushing. But he went over 1,000, from scrimmage a couple weeks ago. But I would definitely love to see him just honestly, like, feed him. Like, just feed him sometime. Like, he's been healthy, thank God, for the whole year. So, like, just feed the guy. So, subpar for me because with the eighth pick, you expect like even more. Like, at that
yeah,
pick, you're expecting, double digit TDs and whatever. But for what it is, for where we've come from, though, like we're still in a rebuild process. We got players, but we also ain't been in the playoffs in like 5 years, 6 years. So I think just gradually going in the right direction. We kind of took a step back this year. So yeah, subpar for me this year.
so let me hold you to the fire on this because we had a lot of conversations before the
Definitely.
season about where he should be drafted. Was it a mistake to draft him as high as we were talking about drafting him? A lot of players, a lot of people were
I
saying rookie running back, you
like
can't
like
draft him
four,
too high.
like he was going like 4 or 5 in
He was
certain
going
leagues,
top
right?
10, top 10
Top
in
10.
every
Um,
mock draft.
You know what? It's crazy because like his first 3 weeks, first 4 weeks, it was like, yeah, like that's the pick. And then it hit like obviously like a rookie hole, and also where our coach, we had quarterback inconsistencies, and then we're in and out the lineups, and then our line didn't block well to start the year. Like they got better, but we were terrible in the first couple of weeks. Everything Bijan did in the first 3, 4 weeks was all him. Like when we played you guys, y'all had him in the
Cooked
back.
us.
Like I know you like I hate to use that, but like that was literally just God given talent. Like that's
Yeah, he
just
was
not.
cooking.
It's hard to take a running back there when he's not getting the touchdown. So in hindsight, like he definitely should not have been there because now that you see that the touchdowns are not there, the yardage was there. Like Bijan's going to finish top 10 in rushing. He's going to finish, receiving like pretty well, but at that pick, that's not the pick because like C Mac goes there. You see the type of year he's had, like you know what I mean. Whereas Mostert didn't go top five, and he's got 20 plus touchdowns. So definitely,
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. Yes, I think every year there's one guy that's like the biggest topic of conversation when it comes to how high he should go. And I think he was the guy. And you just really never know from year to year what you're going to get from a rookie. And that's the beauty of what we're going to be doing with the league because it's even more incentive to take him high. It's like he's probably the best rookie in the draft, and I'm going to need a rookie for that flex. Why not take him there? Not kill two birds with one stone. But it's like then you're going against some of the more established, dogs in the league. So
yeah.
it's definitely gonna make the league interesting. I appreciate that. This is a guy. It's a guy we talked about in the chat the other day, and we don't really know what's going on with him. What are your thoughts on Jair Alexander?
Yo, gotta tread lightly with certain words, but like,
I
is he
already know what you're
okay?
gonna say.
Seriously.
You're not
But
gonna
like,
use that.
I mean, I get his ego being like, yo, this is my hometown. I should be a captain. But like, to almost blow the coin toss where y'all don't get the ball either half, like, and then it just feel like he hasn't played. Like, it's
Yeah,
just,
he never went on IR. He had the injury, and every week it felt
he
like
missed six, he missed like 6 games. But I'm like,
yeah,
wait, he could have just
every
went on short term IR.
yeah, every week I'm following the injury reports and like, okay, he's good to go this week. Sunday
Nah,
comes, he's inactive. He did that for 4 or 5 weeks in a row. And I'm like, what's going on? It got to be, I feel like it got to be something bigger. And then he does that. Then he gets suspended for a game. Like, I don't know if he's going to be a Packer next year because it's just the tension
my
is
my
clearly there.
yeah, like he knows what he's doing, but he's like picking at like the coaches, like he's just like, all right, I'm gonna push your buttons to see how far you gonna go. And I just feel like they're just fed up because like Jair ain't been like, and then you had the on field like issues, like he's like y'all down 20, but he's yapping at like I think it was in Buffalo last year. He was
That was
just
last year. I
bugging.
mean,
Like,
but he has been like that his whole career. Like that's
yeah,
that's
but
what makes him him
it
to a
shows
certain
when you're
extent.
not available and not making plays no more. So it's
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
all right, so we can't have that. Like you could live with a dude, all right, well, Jair going he also gonna lock up. So you live with the DB's like antics if you're available. But like
yeah.
I said to myself, I'm like, yo, like, oh, is Jair ever gonna play again? Like it's two
Yes.
players I got. It's him and Watson. I just be like, yo, what's good? Like literally, what's good? But Watson doesn't have the antics that come with it. So
Yeah, yeah.
all right, yeah, you got to rehab, you got to bum hammy, whatever it is. But like, I just feel like I'm just like, yo, who are the Packers DBs? Because they kept showing like a Valentine, whatever they kept
Yeah.
showing. I'm like, where is he? Like, he's just not available.
And
So
I think I don't know. I want to assume part of this is him trying to stick it to Joe Barry as much as to the team because he never liked the scheme. I think he came out and said like he wants to be up playing on
follow.
the ball. And I've always complained. We had a lot of conversations, me, you, Casey, like, why are we playing this defense? Why is he 10 years off the ball, 10 yards off the ball on 35? And I think he never liked the system. And I think because of his diva personality, he just allowing all of that to come out. So I'm pretty concerned about what the defense can look like next year. Um, the front four are great, but after that, Quay is pretty good in the middle, but
Devondre ain't
Stokes
playing either.
Stokes is never on the field at corner. We traded Rasul, Jair. Who knows if he wants to play? We're gonna have to go in the draft and get 3, 4 corners because
Y'all don't like getting corners. Y'all like getting linemen. So
yes, I don't know. And the craziest part is, I think they put a stat like the past 10 years, like we might have drafted two offensive players in the first round. So we got all first rounders on defense, and we still can never be even top 20. So what do you do with that? I don't know.
yeah, that's rough.
And I'll give you one more name about a guy who a lot of people should have said should have gone first, but he didn't, and has ball crazy. CJ Stroud.
Dog. That like he just changed just the aura around Houston. Like even how he talks in his speeches. Like even after the loss, he was like, "Oh, I don't care. We was gonna come back. We was gonna score." Like we played against him, and I'm just like, wow. Like we won the game, but like he
Is a
drove
dog.
with no problem. He
Yeah,
drove with no problem. Um, there's always been like I've been in conversations because I like Bryce Young, but I just feel like I knew when Thielen went there, that's not a receiver for him because Thielen couldn't even get open with Jettas. So I'm like, that doesn't help his game. Chark doesn't help his game. Everyone sees the incompletions. I'm like, but those dudes can't get open or separate.
Mhm.
Stroud literally that Tank Dell pick was great. Like him getting hurt for the year hurt them, but they still got a
Yeah.
chance to make the playoffs. Like playing tonight, but yo, he honestly I always had a thing against Ohio State quarterbacks because it was just something about them, and they get to the league whether it was
Yeah.
Cardell, whether JT Beer, I don't think went. Rest in peace. What's his face? Haskins. Like
Haskins, yeah.
it was always something about them. Even Fields is trying to turn the corner now, but like it was always something about them that just he's changing that though. Like he's literally leading a team. They weren't good for after the whole Deshaun Watson stuff. Like they look like they're going to be around for a while, as long as he stays healthy and like they keep building that team. Because the defense was good last year. I don't know if you remember. I told Stowe I was like, y'all a quarterback away because that
Yeah, I
dude that
remember
was
that.
there before, I forget his name. The backup that he's the backup now, but he played last year. I
Yeah, I
forget his
can't think
name.
of his name, but we talked
He was a
about him
rookie
a
last year.
lot. Yeah.
Yeah, he it was just turnovers, and they
Mhm.
were in games that they shouldn't have been in, but the defense was hanging their hat. Now you get D'Amico Ryan in there, who I think we'll talk about should be coach of the year. Just how they changed that team, and like you forget the stuff Houston went through with the coaches. Lovey Smith
Yeah.
getting fired, and then the coach before that getting fired. Like it's
Mhm.
like all right, like that's all out the window, and it's like yo, Houston's a formula. Like they can still win the AFC South today.
Yeah. That's a good segue into the topic of coach of the year. Is that who you would give coach of the year to? Houston's coach?
Yeah, definitely. Just what they've been through the last however so months with coaches and stuff, and then that team, and they were at the basement of the AFC South once Deshaun Watson left, and then the whole D Hop left, and then Bill O'Brien left. Like it was just you didn't see what was next, and then this dude comes in and resurrects him like no other, and it's like honestly, if he doesn't get hurt, he's probably an MVP conversation. Like that's how
Yeah.
well he was playing. Like he was
Yeah.
driving, like 25 seconds, no timeouts, I'll get a touchdown. Like so I think definitely D'Amico Ryan. And there's a lot of definitely like, candidates for it, but I think it's definitely his.
Yeah. I think it would have had to been out of him. And I like what's his name in Cleveland? Stefanski, right?
Stefanski. Yeah.
Yeah. I think they made probably the biggest leap in spite of Deshaun Watson, whatever he was doing this season.
I
So
tell
to
you.
have that record and
I tell you.
to have the record they have and to have been as consistent as they have when they haven't had consistency at the most important position and to have Flacco come in and just be cooking the way he's cooking. So I understand either one of them. I think I lean a little bit more towards them just because how I don't know if dominant is the word, but record wise they've been pretty dominant with a lot of turnover at quarterback.
Definitely. They had like four different guys play this year. Flacco, PJ Walker, DTR, D Watt. Like
Yeah, and everybody cooked but DY.
I try to tell you, it's him. Like that team, they're just solid, and that defense is playing well. Another guy I had on my list was Stitching from the Colts. Like
Mm,
how they finished last year had Jeff. Like it was just a clown show. They brought
yeah,
in Jeff Saturday to coach. They didn't. They won his first game, then they didn't win again, and then your top pick gets hurt. They're in the playoff hunt today as well. Like with
yeah.
Garner Minshew,
And the
like
JT situation at the beginning of the season. Yeah,
they
they
didn't even want him. Zach Moss steps up, you know what I mean? And then Garner
wasted.
Minshew comes in free agency. Now he's your guy for the year because AR gets hurt. Like,
Yeah, Gardner is a wild boy.
yo, it's either four TDs or four picks, bro.
So what I was going to ask you on another topic before we got to this, do you think if you switch the situations, if CJ is in Carolina, Bryce is in Houston, does Houston still have that success? Is it the quarterback or is it the pieces that they have around him?
My
Because
friends would say quarterback,
Houston does
but
have a bit of a better, well, I don't want to say bit, a lot better with Noah Brown and
Tate
Tank
Dell,
Dell,
Dalton
Nico
Schultz,
Collins, and Woods is that vet you need. Like,
yes, he'll have a left tackle in Tunzel. He'll have
yeah,
guys. He'll have Nico Collins. He would have Dalton Schultz, Noah Brown, Tank
coach,
Dell.
yep,
John Mechie's not even doing much yet, but like Robert Woods is like a guy you can lean on if you need to with veteran presence.
vet,
Go to
yeah,
Carolina. Who you throwing the ball to? DJ Chark, Adam Thielen.
yeah.
Come on now. Come on now. That line is getting killed, and also like the coach. So a lot of things people don't see is just how does an OC call plays? So the Texans OC, Bobby Slowick, who's probably going to get head coaching like interviews, he's actually sought after. Frank Reich ain't really been right. You know, when he was calling plays and then he switched over to Thomas Brown to call plays, then he went back to Frank Reich. Like it was a mess.
Yeah.
So like, what do you expect a rookie quarterback to do that's already yay high? Like, you know what I mean? Like he's already
Yeah, it's true.
that would have been hard for anybody. And I'm telling like people like, yo, like CJ looks good now because he got a guy that can scheme people open.
Mm,
They both could throw, but like if nobody's getting open and no one can get separation, you're only reserved to check downs and trying to play backyard football.
true. Yeah, it's definitely a tough situation. It's been a tough situation there for a
Nico's in a breakout year, I think. Like
long time.
Nico is going crazy.
Yeah. Nico's that guy. I think I drafted him either last year or the year before. He had the potential. It's just
It's
the
there,
QB to
but
get him
he
the
needs
ball.
someone to bring it out. But now with
Yeah.
CJ Stroud, like like that's wide receiver one probably, and he's gonna get his 7 to 8 targets and get 85, 90 yards. He may
Yeah.
get 2 tutties out of it. So
Yeah. For the sake of time, we're about to run out of time. We won't get into MVP. We can talk about that next episode.
yeah,
But I want to end the episode with shout outs, and I'll take care of it this week. I just want to give our old co-hosts Moose and Cheese their flowers because I appreciate them being on that ride with us and all that they brought to the podcast, all the antics, all the
definitely,
moments. So shout out to them. I just want to make sure that we give them their flowers
definitely,
as we start on this new endeavor.
definitely. I'll do the same. Like, cheeses in this league, but nothing goes unnoticed. Like we may joke and whatever. That league, like, yo, like when we were at the top, we were at the top. So Randy,
Yes.
Stoll, King, everyone that's like over there, Gabe, whoever I'm missing, the Casey, all us. I think that's pretty much everyone else. If I
Yeah.
forgot anyone, shout out to them because I don't want them to feel like we stepping on their toes because like what they had and what we had together was great. Like
Yeah.
that was I just felt like every eye was on us when that league was on. Like,
It
yo,
was.
dang, like people was like lining up, like, yo, that league ain't open yet. Like,
Yeah, there's a lot of people
so
for
like
sure.
what else? Definitely want to give them just even them like adding us to the league, Randy and Moose. Appreciate
Yeah,
that.
shout out to them.
But shout out to our newcomers as well. So like Chance, Jordan, Los coming over, Casey coming over, Cheese coming over,
John.
John, Mark,
Yeah.
like
Shout out to
yo,
everybody.
shout out to the league, man. Global league, man. I call it global because I want to take it places, dog. Like
Yeah,
it's
for
just
sure.